Welcome to Unsettle Yourself. This week's episode is all about understanding what you attach your self-worth to. So this is extremely important because everything we do actually relies on how worthy we feel we are. So if you feel worthy enough to do something, then you're going to do it. And if you don't, then you're not going to do it. You're not going to take action on things. And our inherent self-worthiness starts to diminish as we get older, as we start receiving programming from when we're children, whether it's from our education system, our parents and our family and home, or what we see in society on TV, in the news, all around us. So it's really important to understand what our self-worth is and where it's at and what we attach to it, because it's really about understanding that and what it was as we grew up that we attached to it. So often we attach the amount of money that we make, a job title, schools and grades as we're growing up, what others think of us, and the things that we own in our life. And examples of those are people's opinions, whether or not you get good grades or you get bad grades and how you view that. If you have a title with a director or a manager in it, if you make over a certain amount of money, if the things you own, what type of a car, if you own a house or, designer items, all of those things are things that when you're growing up and you're receiving programming from all of it, you start to attach your self-worth to. So if you don't have those things, or if you're not at a certain level, you start to think that your self-worth is lower than it actually is. And the thing that I really want you to understand is that your worth, your self-worth, is attached only to being alive. I'm alive, therefore I'm worthy. It's not dependent on anything else. It's not dependent on the things that you've learned to attach to that. Because as my good friend that I'm not actually friends with, Gary B, always says, the odds of being born are 1 in 400 trillion. So the odds are actually not in your favor to be human. Therefore, the odds to also then have all of these things that you think are part of your worthiness are also not in your favor. So once you understand your inherent worthiness and how they're not attached to those things, and if you can let them go, which takes time and it takes a lot of training to really go through all of these things and to realize none of that actually is part of your worthiness, then you can start to understand what your value is, which is really, really different from your worthiness. So your value is what you bring to the table, what you present to the world every single day, versus you being worthy of all of the things that are possible, which you are born with. You are born with this worthiness. And as you get older, that's when you start to get programmed into thinking that you're not worthy of all of these things. And instead, what we really want to focus on is what your value is. And you start to learn that as you get older and as you're being programmed, you understand your value because you start to understand what you're good at. So next week I'm going to talk a lot more about value, and this week it really is just really thinking about what it is you attach your self-worth to in this moment so that you can start doing the work to actually eliminate that, to let that go, and to see that you are worthy without all of those things, that you are still worthy of love, that you are still worthy of all of the things, of joy, of happiness, of all of these amazing feelings, regardless of money or social status or relationship status or the things that you own. Any of those things, none of them matter. So take a look at what you might attach to that now, so that next week when we go over value, you'll start to understand what you value in yourself and what you bring into the world.